one of the things that I love to be trained in is to feel sexy, walking on heels. I believe that one of the goals, the fun goals of submission or of dominance is the training program. One of the things that I love to be trained in is to feel sexy. Walking on heels for me means feeling very sexy. You can wear jeans and walking on the streets, but having a pair of heels under it and you will look sexy. It's instantly feel sexy. I remember that I was walking on the streets and there were a bunch of teenage guys behind me and they were whistling to me when they saw me from behind. And then I turned around and I smiled at them and said, thank you. And then said, oh my God, she's old. It was not very flattering, but the good thing was that from behind I was definitely looking sexy. So I thought, let's make a video about how to walk sexy, because if you want to use heels, to learn how to walk on heels, because it can make you feel feminine. So I think that walking on heels is something that can increase your relationship, because it can make you feel sexy and therefore more admired, and it will give you more confidence. So here's how you walk on heels. First of all, start slow. You don't have to start with 6-inch heels, like 10 centimeters. Just try like this, a small one. Also, the smaller they are, the harder it is to walk on them. So first start with a bit bigger ones. You will already see that something like that will already give you the feeling of walking on heels. It will change your posture. Then find shoes that are comfortable. It's very easy to buy a cheap pair of shoes. I invested quite some money in heels. I mean, I had like 90 pairs or something in the times that I was making a lot of money in IT. But the best pair of shoes that I bought was a pair of, it's called Peter Kaiser. It's the brand that stewardesses are wearing, because they have to walk all the time on heels. So they're very, very comfortable, and they can be still very high, but they're comfortable and they're good. And you can feel it when you stand on it and you have balance. If you have balance, they're good. And you have a bit of a cushion in it. So that's one thing. Now, the next thing is, it's all about minimizing your gestures. I know that when you see like the models walking on stage, they're like swinging everywhere, but that's exaggerating, and they need to do that because they're on stage, but you're not on stage. And if you do that, it will feel uncomfortable and weird, and it will look weird and it will look exaggerated. So try to minimize stuff. It means you're never in a hurry when you're on heels. So take small steps. If you walk on heels, what you do is you try to find one line and you walk on that line. So it's very easy. I'm going to show you this example. I'm going to do it in front of you so you can see how I do it. Just take one line of tiles and just make sure that you walk on that tile. Make sure that your feet are straight. So your feet are not supposed to be like this, and they're also not supposed to be like this. They should be like this. Next thing is make small steps. I said that already, but also your knee hook can be small. You don't have to lift your heels and your heel all the way from the floor. I mean, you have to lift them from the floor, but you don't have to lift your knees like hip height or something, or somewhere in between. Just enough to be able to make a step. That's it. Nothing else is needed. When you walk, make sure that you're straight. It's all about posture. It's not just about how you walk. You will see that when you're putting your feet in front of each other, that your hips will start swaying a bit. By the way, this is harder for men than for women, just because the way that you're built. Maybe you don't sway, that's fine. Don't do it, don't add it. Just make sure that you keep your movement as natural as possible. Your posture is the same for men as for women. Make sure that your shoulders are straight and they're rolled back. I'm going to show it from that side. So this is like normal, right? You just let them hang a bit. So what you do is you put them up and down, and it will make sure that your hands are a little bit behind your body, at least next to the line of your body in the middle. And then the same for your arm. What goes for your legs, like keeping it minimal, is the same for your arms. Keep it minimal. You can move them a bit, but not too much. You will see in the video that I'm having one arm that I'm doing way too much. The other one is good, but one is way too much. That's something you want to prevent. And it's something that you can practice, but you don't need to move it more than you want. I often, the arm that is moving a lot, I often tend to take a handbag for sure, a purse, for instance. And so my arm will not swing that much. Now that's the last thing. So keep your chest up, keep your chin up as well. I know that especially in the beginning, you will want to look in front of you, especially you saw where I was walking. I mean, it was not exactly a straight street. So I was also trying to look on what the street was looking like so I wouldn't trip. But I can walk while my chin is still up, and I can walk and I can look over it. So you can look like this instead of this. You see what happens with your posture. You can look like this down, or you can look like this down. That's the difference. So make sure you keep it as up as possible. If you keep your back straight, it's easier. And then it's all a matter of practice. Take a mirror, start working on it. It's totally possible to just start on your toes and then start with something that has not such a high heel, and well, you're gonna have fun. I think this will also add something in the bedroom. I mean, no offense, but could you resist a woman on heels? Especially if it's your woman? Didn't think so. And if you're a guy and you would love to train as a sissy, if you're a woman and you want to train your husband as a sissy to teach him a little bit more of elegance or stuff, it's wonderful to train for him. So this video is for all of you guys. Have fun and play with passion.